Greetings. This is a pleasure of talking with you. And for me, I personally, I'm very happy to see everyone is participating. Now, we are going to see how things are going in Iran between US troops and the coalition with Israel, and then the troops of Iran, how they are now protecting one another and fighting one another also. We're going to see what is happening in Tehran, and we're going to see what is going in the lands of Iran. So, friends, our partners, we welcome you to Rise and Shine TV show to see the way forward and how we can analyze this situation that is happening in the Middle East. So, come, do subscribe, comment, and not only that, share and give us what we can improve. So, we are waiting for you to see how things are being done here, and then we are waiting the end of this war and this conflict that are happening in the mid. Thank you so much, and it is my pleasure to see you all participating. Watch to this video and let me know what is happening. Thank you so much, and be together.
Area, including using their elite units and local militias. They swarmed the Black Mountain area with everything they had. Villagers were even offered big cash rewards by Tehran to join the hunt and turn in the American for a major propaganda win for Iran. But America answered the call with overwhelming force. Elite special operations teams, including Air Force Special Warfare Pararescue Men, the legendary PJs so that others may live is their motto, and Naval Special Warfare Development Group operators were on the ground as well. Integrated team of special operators making it happen. Likely Delta Force could have been involved, Army Rangers, Green Berets, and then backed by the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, also known as the Night Stalkers. They fly the MH-6, the AH-6 Little Birds for lightning fast insertions, fire support, HH-60W Jolly Green helicopters for heavy combat rescue airlift, and A-10 Thunderbolt IIs overhead for brutal close air support. And this video right here is said to be the actual final firefight. This is the final scene with likely A-10s rolling in, striking down some of these combatants that are trying to get to the F-15E Wizzo before U.S. forces. A massive firefight took place. MQ-9 Reaper drones were overhead. And speaking of MQ-9 Reapers, this report just came in. U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drones protected the rescued F-15E crew member by striking Iranian military-aged males believed to be a threat who got within 3 kilometers of the airman. A person familiar with the operation told Air and Space Forces magazine this exact quote. MC-130J Commando 2 transports slipped into austere strips deep behind enemy lines, and likely even F-15E fighters going out to protect their member of their squadron, plus A-10s, F-35s, other birds up ahead providing air cover and jamming Iranian systems and signals and communications from Tehran to the IRGC. And President Trump also said this. He said, "We have rescued the seriously wounded and really brave F-15 crew member officer from deep inside the mountains of Iran." The Iranian.
So, friends, when we see what is happening there, and this is what President Donald Trump has said, we have secured the serious, wounded, and really brave F-15 crew member officers from deep inside the mountain of Iran. Hano, we are looking what is happening. Let me use this English, not the virtual languages. So this confirms that the troops of Iran is now fighting with high tension, and also the way Donald Trump, the president of US, has declared that they are destroying, it is totally different what is happening in Iran. So for this side, we want to see what is happening. So let us move forward on this information.
Hours, the United States military pulled off one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history, and it reminds the world that the U.S. will never leave an American warfighter behind. No Americans were killed in the operation. The Wizzo injured but safe, and U.S. forces proved total dominance. Today, we're walking through every fact that we know and the full story of how this daring rescue operation culminated in the safe rescue of this weapon systems operator, but it did culminate in one of the biggest firefights during a rescue operation in U.S. history. And this going down is going to change everything that we've heard about U.S. Special Operations versus the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So it all started April 3rd, 2026, when that F-15E Strike Eagle was taken down by Iranian fire over the Zagros Mountains near Dishat. Wreckage photos surfaced fast as Iranian forces claimed the kill of the shootdown. Both the pilot and the highly respected colonel ejected safely, but they were separated on the ground. They ejected at altitude so the winds can change the trajectory of those parachutes. They could land a mile or two away. The pilot was rescued the next day in an initial CSAR push, but the HH-60W Jolly Green helicopters that got the pilot took incoming fire and were damaged severely. Even crew members on those helicopters were wounded, but they made it back to base safely. U.S. officials stayed quiet on the second rescue to protect the colonel while he was evading. Meanwhile, IRGC units behind the scenes and locals around the Black Mountain were actively hunting the colonel with bounties on him.
And here we are seeing the way the troops of both parties are fighting one another. You can see this soldier now is steady and ready to fight. So we are seeing the attacks from side of Iran and the troops from the side of US. So both of these guys, we thank you so much, and we thank people who are giving this information, and we are trying to help the world to understand what is happening in that area. So, friends, let's keep our eye and our attention to the Middle East on what is happening there. Let us move on this situation.
Every fire, and that all of the forces are now out of Iran. This wasn't just some easy pickup though. This happened right in the heart of the incredibly rugged Zagros Mountains in southwestern Iran. In the Chamahar and Bakhtari province near Dishat, we're talking steep, jagged ridgelines topping over 7,000 feet, deep, rocky valleys, loose shale slopes, and unforgiving high-altitude terrain that's perfect for hiding, but absolutely hell for.
Again, we can see this desert. This is the land of Iran. It is totally desert. So to fight in this area, it is totally complicated and not easy. So what is happening in this Middle East? It is not easy, brethren, around the world. Let us continue to see and through this news.
Moving fast, especially when you're injured and being hunted by the IRGC. This video will recount the actual rescue operation of the F-15E Wizzo. And President Trump posted this. He said, "We got him. My fellow Americans, over the past several hours, the United States military pulled off one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history for one of our incredible crew member officers, who also happens to be a highly respected colonel and who I am thrilled to let you know is now safe and sound." This brave warrior was behind enemy lines in treacherous mountains of Iran, being hunted down by our enemies who were getting closer and closer by the hour, but he was never truly alone because of his Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of War, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and fellow warfighters were monitoring his location 24 hours a day and diligently planning for his rescue. But the IRGC wanted to get him first. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was searching the entire area, including using their elite units and local militias. They swarmed the Black Mountain area with everything they had. Villagers were even offered big cash rewards by Tehran to join the hunt and turn in the American for a major propaganda win for Iran. But America answered the call with overwhelming force. Elite special operations teams, including Air Force Special Warfare Pararescue Men, the legendary PJs, so that others may live is their motto, and Naval Special Warfare Development Group operators were on the ground as well. Integrated team of special operators making it happen. Likely Delta Force could have been involved, Army Rangers, Green Berets, and then backed by the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, also known as the Night Stalkers. They fly the MH-6, the AH-6 Little Birds for lightning fast insertions, fire support, HH-60W Jolly Green helicopters for heavy combat rescue airlift, and A-10 Thunderbolt IIs overhead for brutal close air support. And this video right here is said to be the actual final firefight. This is the final scene with likely A-10s rolling in, striking down some of these combatants that are trying to get to the F-15E Wizzo before U.S. forces. A massive firefight took place. MQ-9 Reaper drones were overhead. And speaking of MQ-9 Reapers, this report just came in. U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drones protected the rescued F-15E crew member by striking Iranian military-aged males believed to be a threat who got within 3 kilometers of the airmen. A person familiar with the operation told Air and Space Forces magazine this exact quote. MC-130J Commando 2 transports slipped into austere strips deep behind enemy lines, and likely even F-15E fighters going out to protect their member of their squadron, plus A-10s, F-35s, other birds up ahead providing air cover and jamming Iranian systems and signals and communications from Tehran to the IRGC. And President Trump also said this. He said, "We have rescued the seriously wounded and really brave F-15 crew member officer satellite that frequency hop and look just like noise to the enemy. Send preloaded messages, injured but mobile, enemy active nearby, request extraction window ASAP." That combat survival radio, that's the silent lifeline. Boeing built an ejection proof. It keeps CENTCOM updated in real time without compromising the colonel's position. So here's what the colonel likely did. Rationed his water, ate some of the emergency food, got to keep the energy levels high so you can stay mobile and keep moving fast to stay away from those IRGC patrols. But you also need to stay motionless for hours when you hear those IRGC vehicles or voices echoing up from the valleys below. Then relocate only when it's safe. Climb higher or shift to new cover to throw off the search. Bounty hunters, militias, IRGC special ops are out there trying to get you. Drones, possibly scanning ridges. But trust your training, the SEER, the deception operations that are going on behind the scenes to feed the enemy information that you've already been extracted. Nearly 48 hours of pure discipline, minimal movement by day, careful navigation by night, conserving energy while your body fights the pain and the cold. But this colonel knew he was never truly alone. The president, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, secretary of war, and other war fighters from his unit and from Special Operations Forces are out there, ready to scoop him up when the time is right. As soon as the Wizzo confirmed that he was alive through the different techniques and tactics that you use for SEER, CENTCOM went into full go mode. Presidential Task Force spins up a massive joint special operations unit to go in and get the colonel. The prep was lightning fast but razor sharp. Intelligence briefs on IRGC movements, rehearsals on similar mountainous terrain at forward bases, and contingency plans for everything from sand traps to heavy contact to IEDs, improvised explosive devices. On the ground, you had Air Force Special Warfare Pararescue Men, the PJs that live by the motto so that others may live. Teamed up with Navy SEALs, elite commandos from Delta Force, and also Green Berets. In the air, the 160th SOAR Night Stalkers brought the MH-6s, those little birds. Also, you have HC-130J Combat King tankers for refueling, and MC-130J Commando 2 transports that can land on rough strips deep in enemy territory and get everybody out. Reports are saying, and also this video right here from inside of Iran is a sighting of a C-295 295W from the secretive Air Force Special Operations Command's 427th Special Operations Squadron, flying at low altitude over Iran during the operation. This is a rare glimpse of the highly specialized platform supporting deep penetration missions. And then overhead, A-10 fighters with their GAU-8 cannons, MQ-9 Reaper drones for eyes in the sky, plus surveillance and electronic warfare aircraft jamming Iranian radars and comms. This was years of training and investment coming together in real time. But none of that prep would have mattered without the intense close quarter battle that erupted once the teams hit the ground. Under the cover of darkness late on April 4th, stretching into the early morning hours of April 5th, 2026, the rescue package went in deep, straight into contested territory south of Isfahan, near missile bases, nuclear sites, and Iranian assets. Night Stalker helicopters inserted the Special Operations ground teams near the Wizzo's hide site in the mountains around Dadasht and Black Mountain. Reapers and strike aircraft provided overwatch, while the team linked up with the colonel in his hiding spot, stabilized him right there, and started moving him out. But that's when Iranian forces, who had been hunting them relentlessly, closed in hard on the extraction site, triggering a massive firefight. U.S. Special Operations unleashed a high volume of heavy suppressive fire, fighting with everything they had so that others may live. Also, A-10C Thunderbolts up overhead rolled in with devastating close air support, while Little Birds added rockets and mini gunfire. It was fierce and close quarters, and there's rumors of burned out Little Bird wrecks at the crash site, showing exactly how hot the engagement got in the Dadasht area. This is one of the deepest penetrations into defended Iranian territory in modern times. Iranian forces actively trying to stop the rescue, but warriors from the USA held the line. They protected the colonel and kept the fight under control. But after that firefight, the exfiltration brought its own edge of your seat drama. The rescue force, now with the freed colonel, rendezvoused at the remote austere Ford airfield and Ford arming refueling point just south of Isfahan. Multiple MC-130J Commando 2 transports landed inside enemy territory to pull everyone out. But two of the MC-130Js got bogged down in the soft sand, wheels sinking in with no safe way out. With Iranian forces closing in, there was zero time to waste. U.S. Special Operations teams rigged demolition charges and destroyed the aircraft in place, setting them ablaze to deny Iran any technology, wreckage, or propaganda win. Thick black smoke rose from the hulks, and burned out Little Birds were also left at the site after their critical role in the fight. The call went out right away. 3 replacement aircraft came in, maybe those 295Ws, loaded the entire force, including the stabilized colonel, and exfiltrated everyone safely out of Iran and back to friendly airspace. Mission complete, no loose ends left behind, proving once again why America's military is the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. So from the colonel's solo evasion perspective in those brutal Zagros mountains to the intense firefight and gritty exfil, this operation showcases exactly what makes the U.S. military unmatched.